let's bring in out one of our producers, Borg Skeptic. Borg, how are you doing?
Hello, how are you doing?
I guess I should talk about myself first because I never said I am bisexual. I have throughout my life alternated between identifying as gay and bisexual. But I mean, my sexual orientation is bisexual. I am married to a man, so I'm in a gay relationship. So sometimes it's just easier to say gay and not deal with bi erasure, which is something that we're going to end up talking about. But Borg, you are a trans woman.
Yep.
And so how did, I guess I will start by asking you the same question about when you realized that you were trans.
For me, I'd say it was a process. So I realised I was different when I was around about 6 year old. Didn't like the same things as the other boys did. Didn't act the same way as the other boys did. Didn't think the same way that the other boys did. So I knew I was different then. But I was indoctrinated heavily into a cult religion. So
Right.
didn't really have much choice in the issue to do anything about it at the time.
Right.
When I was around about 8, 9, I took the decision to start wearing female underwear as just underneath the male suit that I had to wear for the religion, and because it just felt more comfortable. I was able to deal with things a bit better in life, just having that little bit of comfort. So I sort of knew at that time that I wasn't male, but I just thought of myself as being weird, some sexual predator or something like that. Like,
Well, that's what they were probably telling you.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
think the religion tells you that you are if you're not.
So I felt like there was something wrong with me. And obviously it wasn't until I left Jehovah's Witnesses at the age of 18 that I realised, all right, there is this thing known as gender dysphoria, and I marry up perfectly with all of the symptoms of that, and that's when I went to go and get the diagnosis, and got diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and being a trans woman. So
Right. Well, I guess it's important for us to talk about there is a difference between sexual orientation and gender identity. And a lot of times people kind of lump them into the same category because it's all considered LGBT. But they are two distinct categories. And,
yes.
when you start going through the list of what the different letters stand for, I mean, we might as well go in order. L, when we talk about lesbianism, I don't know if you guys feel the same way about this that I do, but I feel like the L is the most benign of the LGBT in the sense that it's the one that's always been the most kind of socially accepted and least questioned and had the least difficulties adapting. How do you guys feel about that?
I will say that's been my personal experience in life. I remember I've had, for example, a gym teacher that stands out in my brain, but my best friend in the world, for example, excuse me, he's a great guy across the board with one exception, and that is he's very bigoted towards homosexual men, but he has absolutely zero issues whatsoever with lesbians. None.
Do me a favor, Caleb. Move 1 or 2 inches to your... There you go, that direction. Sorry. So, homophobic towards men, but okay with lesbian.
Yeah, and for me, if there's like this middle ground between homophobic and not, it tends to be the case that if you're like kind of homophobic, it tends to be towards men for some reason.
Did you get a sense of why that was the case? Why he was homophobic towards men? And
I know exactly. It's just because it's icky. It's gross as far as he's concerned, and that grossness to him resonates in a it embodies itself as a sort of anxiety. Like, it makes him anxious. He doesn't like it. It literally, like when he sees two dudes kissing in front of him, he says that he can feel the anxiety and the discomfort when that happens. And
Okay, that's a little bit. I thought I would have evaluated that differently until you hit me with that last point. Now I think it's probably something else. Because sometimes people have a very visceral reaction to something that you wouldn't normally have a visceral reaction to unless there's something deeper there, And I see women. I'm not, I mean, I am attracted to women, but I'm less attracted to women. When I see two women kissing, it doesn't necessarily do anything for me, But it's not something that I would be grossed out about. And I know a lot of gay men who wouldn't be grossed out about that. It's just two women kissing, But it's not like, like this is terrible. How they need to go away. I've never seen a gay man react that way to women kissing. I haven't seen lesbians react that way towards gay men kissing. I'm not saying it never happens, but it would be it's a rare thing. But I have seen the reaction that you are describing, where straight men have very visceral reaction, negative towards the idea of two men together, and you have to ask yourself, why is that? If it's not something you're into, is it something? Why are you thinking so deeply about this that it's causing you to recoil? I don't know. That's just my thinking.
Here's some irony for you. This man that I'm referring to, who will not be named, is the only man on this planet, aside from my father, whom I've ever kissed.
Like on the lips, or?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's consistent with what my suspicion was going. That doesn't surprise me at all, actually. I mean,
okay.
Frankly,
that actually, I thought that was going to be a little bit of a what
moment. No, because when you describe the reaction that people have, that are that deep, like repulsed by the idea, oftentimes, if it's not based in religion, and it's based purely on the ick factor, or so they say, they're gay.
By the way,
I didn't want to just say that, this dude is gay, because there could be other reason, but in my experience, that tends to be the case.
And just for the record, in case it wasn't clear, that wasn't my gay experience that I had. That was just something that happened once.
Yeah. What about you, Borg? Do you find that lesbians seem to be generally, for the most part, accepted in society unless they present as overly butch, or if you have a regular cis woman who just you wouldn't suspect is gay, but then she reveals that she's married to a woman, have you noticed that generates some sort of that's as likely to generate a negative response when people find out?
I see. So I've spoke to people who, obviously many people who do identify as lesbian and identify as others who identify as gay, and I'm not 100% sure I could answer that question, because I have spoke to lesbian couples who do get a lot of stick for being lesbian, and then I've spoke to gay couples who don't get a lot of stick at all for being gay in a male-male relationship. So
right, and I don't want to get it.
Depends on what demographic you're from.
Sure, I don't want to play up any stereotypes, and that's certainly not to say that no lesbians ever get shit on for being gay. Of course they do, or that every single gay man has had a horrible interaction with other people. That's not necessarily the case, and because certainly in the case of couples, there are people, if you see a female couple, they're going to run into assholes, they're going to run into religious people that are going to tell them that they're going to hell. They're going to run into, they probably have a family member who disagrees with their lifestyle choice or thinks that they should be having kids by now, because that's a woman's job to have kids, and so this is not to say that being a lesbian is easy. Of course, they are going to face the same kinds of discriminations. I guess I was just talking about the perception of the social acceptance of it. I think it's the one that's least discriminated against.
I think I would say that it's so both groups still receive the same amount of homophobia. It's just a different kind of homophobia.